Welcome, my name is Matt Curcio, and welcome to Just Enough to Get Started in the Field of Bioinformatics. This short little lecture is on getting help in Bash, or the command line interface, or the Bash shell. These are all synonyms for Bash and the command line interface. So the commands that I'm going to work with today are man, or something short for manual, --help, and apropos. These three commands will get you a lot of information and a lot of help if you need to look up information about your command. So let's get started. So one thing that I may have neglected to say last time working with a virtual machine is that we need to set up something first. So I'm going to go to the program that we set up, push settings, and then go to storage. And in the storage, you should see the controller IDE. And we want to press the Ubuntu Mate, and we want to make sure that we have the CD DVD live pressed. And that means we'll be running the ISO as if it was a CD or DVD in our machine, and we'll be running it in trial mode. So that's one thing that we need to do before we get started. So once we do that, we can press OK and then start our virtual machine. And that seems to be pretty good. So we have this message on top, and we can click through that. And this may take more or less time depending on your machine. And what I'm also going to do is go to Machine, View, Full Screen Mode. And that will put us into the large screen mode. And eventually we should come up with the Ubuntu Mate desktop. So this first one is the first welcome screen, which asks us if we are going to be using the trial or installing. We're still using the trial. And here we have the desktop for Ubuntu Mate. So everything looks good so far. We have the manual menu on top, we have the information on the right-hand side, and we have the commands for the virtual machine through VirtualBox. That's fine, that's great. So what I'm going to do first is to press Control-Alt-T, and that opens up the terminal or the command line prompt or the Bash shell. Here is another welcome screen. I'm going to shut that down. And the first command that I'm showing you is man. Man can be put in front of any command for your Bash shell. So one shell that I'm going to show you incidentally is the command sort. And as you might suspect, this simply sorts things alphabetically or reverse alphabetically. And I want to find out some information about this command. I can press man short and then enter. And here I go, the user command. Here is the title. Here is some information on it. The synopsis shows you how to set up the command. So in setting it up, you have to call the command. You have options, so you can do certain things like reverse order or alphabetical order. And then you have to have a file that you're pointing it to. So these are things in the synopsis. If you need more information, you can scroll down to the description and read even more about it. So if we want to get out of it, we have to look at the bottom and we can see Q to quit. So we'll press quit, and that puts us back into the command line for more commands. Another thing that I'm going to show you incidentally that I will discuss later on in more detail is the redirect or the greater than sign. One thing that I like to do is I like to look at the manual sometimes side by side when I'm working with it. So I will press the man sort, greater than sign, and then I will actually direct the information to a file on my desktop. And I'll do that by pressing tilde, which means my home directory, followed by a slash, followed by desktop. That's where I want it. Followed by a slash again, and then I want sort command.txt. That will redirect the manual that we just saw to a file named sortcommand.txt on my desktop. So we'll press that. And here we go. We have this new file. And basically what it is the file for the manual that we just saw a second ago. And now if you want to look at it side by side while you're using your sort command, you can do that very nicely. Okay. That's one thing that's also very handy. Another thing that I'm going to show is -- help. So let's say I want to know a little bit about the options without opening up the manual. One thing I can do is press sort -- help. And here again, boom, it shows me many of the same pieces of information. Here you have the command, the options, the file. Here you have the options that you can use. For example, if I used -r after sort, I can reverse sort. I can do numeric sorts. I can do dictionary order sorts, all sorts of different things. So that puts us right back into the command prompt. It just shows you, and you don't need to quit at that point, and you can simply use the sort with your file and whatever text file you want, as an example. Okay, I'm going to press clear just to make it easier for us to work with. And the last one I'm going to show is apropos. Apropos is kind of nice because it lets you put in keywords. Let's say you don't actually know the command that you need. You suspect it might be something like sort, but you need to know exactly. You can push apropos and then sort. And then now that gives you all the commands that have sorting in their manuals. So for example, here's the bunzip. It does block sorting. Here is bzip2. It does block sorting. Here is com. It sorts two files line by line. Here we have sort. So sort lines of text files. So that's a very nice way to sort of get a little information if you don't exactly know the name of the command. With that, I'm going to end this, and we're going to talk about some other commands shortly after this. More help commands will follow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.